Patch 13.1c is so far the most balanced patch of Set 8 Monsters Attack. You can play and win with a ton of different comps, but the best comp of this patch was and still is Team Laser. This is a straightforward comp that wants you to run a Laser Corpse board with the agents Zed, Sejuani, Fiddlesticks, Zoe, Echo, Senna, Yasuo and Renekton. You want to start with your Ashe as your early item holder for Zed and activate Laser Corpse right from the start. Then level up to regular pace and go to 7 at the start of stage 4 latest. Roll to find a copy of your core 4 costs and transition items to Zed as your main carry and Sejuani as your main tank. You're going to want to focus your comp all about Zed. His best in slot and most popular item will always consist of Edge of Night. For other items you should prioritise a Runaan's Hurricane and a Lust Whisper, or basically anything that's made out of a sword or bow component. Your 4 cost frontliner and main tank is Sejuani. Her job is to basically stay alive for as long as possible, which is why you want to ensure her survival with items like Redemption, Warmog's Armor and Dragon's Claw for increased drone damage. Jumping to augments, and it's safe to say that in an ideal game you want to equip Zoe with a Laser Corp emblem. So a Laser Corp, Heart, Crest or Crown are all instant pickups. If you don't get any of these, you'll just continue using Ashe instead. As for hero augments, take any Zed augment or Yasuo Spirit of the Exile support augment. But you gotta remember to isolate units and pay attention to positioning if you do pick the latter. Number 2 on our list is also pretty popular and even easier to play than a full team of lasers. Full Recon is a team packed with crits, so you'll play Kai'Sa, Vayne, Ezreal and Ashe as your backliners and have a stable threats frontline with Zac, Cho'Gath and Rammus. The strength of this comp is its crazy power spike that'll make you dominate the mid game. Therefore you want to roll at level 6 to preserve HP and find all your units 2-star before you go to level 7 and throw in Zac. As your main hybrid carry, Kai'Sa wants a static Shiv first, followed by a strong damage item such as Giant Slayer. As a third item you can always give her a Rage Blade for optimal ult synergy and stacking attack speed. Cho'Gath and Rammus are your 3 cost tanks and utility. Since you'll slow roll at level 7, it's very likely you'll hit both of these at the same time, which is why itemizing both of them is very important. The only difference here is that Rammus prefers armor whilst Cho'Gath prefers magic resist. Aside from that, both of these like general strong tanky items like Redemption and Warmog's Armor. For augments, pick up any Kai'Sa hero augments and multi-shot specifically. Ezreal's support augment is also an instant pick as it makes your mid-game spike even harder. Lastly, having only threats in the frontline makes 3-starring them easiest with a couple of loaded dices and the high roller augment. Comp number 3 on our list is the absolute AP printing machine. Soraka, Echo, Annie, Syndra, Alistar, LeBlanc, Sona and Yuumi will all add tons of stacking AP to the table. This one is another default leveling comp, but it is a little bit harder to play. It is really strong though once those synergies do come online. Your main goal is to find a copy of Soraka and Echo at level 7 and then rush to level 8 to find that copy of Syndra and complete your synergies. As hearts are in the focus, we want them to cast their ults as often as possible to give your entire team more AP. That's why you really want that blue buff on Soraka first to make her rain down stars on the board. Then go for damage in Rabadon's Deathcap and Giant Slayer. For your main frontliner Echo, you'll want to go for those classic tank items like Dragon's Claw and Bramble Vest. And as a third item, you can give him basically anything, as long as it adds some tankiness or some more utility. Just like in Team Laser, in an ideal world you want to equip Zoe with an emblem, but this time it's a heart emblem. So if you do come across a heart, crest or crown, then this should be your first thought. Since Zoe is the unit with the lowest mana pool in the game, you also want to give her the blue buff, as it will make her throw bubbly ults all the time, turning your team into an AP nightmare. But you also shouldn't think twice if you see any Soraka hero augments or LeBlanc's mirror image support augment. If you do want to know which admin programs are best for Soraka and her friends, check out our free Set 8 overlay and bring this comp guide with you into your next game. Another seriously strong carry that refuses to leave the top of the tier list is everything around the badass herself, Samira. Your team will consist of the daredevil Samira of course, and her friends Echo, Fiddlesticks, Sejuani, Aphelios, Urgot, Alistar and Vi. For a late game comp like this one, you want to aim to hit the usual level intervals and be 7 at around the very start of stage 4. Then try hitting a copy of Samira, Echo and Sejuani before going to level 8, to 2-star your 4 costs and find your 5 costs to complete this comp. As you'd expect, Samira is the main focus and AD carry of this comp. With the Ace trait, she'll be able to one-shot enemies when they fall below a certain HP threshold, so maximise her damage with items like Last Whisper, Runaan's Hurricane and Giant Slayer. Echo is your main tank again, who's going to hold everything defensive. You can also give him good utility items, but Redemption, Dragon's Claw and Bramble Vest are really what you're looking for here. As for those augments, any Samira hero augments are just no-brainers. But since these aren't quite as easy to get, you'll also do fine with something like Civiz, Endless Pizza or any Aegis, Heart, Crest or Crown. Our last comp for this patch is the Mecha Prime Draven. You're going to play all mechas Wukong, Jack, Set and Leona alongside the Supers trio Gangplank, Malphite and Lee Sin. As this is a slow roll comp built around supers, you should know the drill by now. Lose streak early, get your economy going and 3-star as many units as possible. Obviously your main carry is your selected Mecha Prime, Draven. For his itemization, you want to go for a sustain item in Bloodthirster first, Lust Whisper second, and a Titan's Resolve last for max stacks. Your second most important unit is one of your frontliners, Lee Sin or Malphite, and make this decision based on which one you hit 3-star first. As frontliners, they prefer tank items like Sunfire Cape, Bramble Vest, Dragon's Claw, and so on. When it comes to augments, Draven's support hero augment has a higher pick rate and average placement than his carry augment, but any form of Thread of the Hunt or a Mecha Prime Heart Crest or Crown will make playing this comp so much easier. That's going to wrap up our top 5 comps you have to play from our challenger experts. If you did find this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel and stay ahead of the meta.